Hi, I'm James Eade of the Eade Foundation. You can call me Jim. A little bit about me. I'm a chess player, first and foremost. You know, when I got started playing chess, my dad taught me how to play. And I got really interested because my first tournament was in 1972, and no bonus points for guessing why. It was a very exciting time in chess in 1972. And I got to the point where I could win tournaments even though I was still in high school. And I got to be a FIDE master. What's a FIDE master? Well, a FIDE master is someone who's strong enough to fight with grandmasters, but not strong enough to become one. So I did other things. I started getting organizing, Grandmaster Norm, I am Norm, FIDE Futurities, those types of things where I was really trying to emphasize the chess excellence. And then I got into chess literacy. Chess literacy is the ability to read and write chess moves, and it opens up this ocean of chess literature for people. And so I wrote this book called Chess for Dummies, and it turned out to be an amazingly bestseller. It just blew my mind how many sales there were. And so I did a lot of other stuff. And 2018, I got this Outstanding Career Achievement Award. But that is enough about me. What is the Eade Foundation? The Eade Foundation is dedicated to building communities through chess. And if you're part of a community, you're never alone. So it doesn't matter what country you're from. It doesn't matter what language you speak. If you're playing chess, you're part of a chess community. And if you can get onto the internet, you can be on the online chess community, no problem. But if you can't, that's when the E-Foundation can come in and help. The E-Foundation can help you if you just don't have the ability to access the internet or to even buy chess sets and equipment. And so we help other countries. For example, we have a program in Zambia, we have a program in Uganda. And why do we do these types of things? Well, you know, sometimes we get a little reward. This is from Uganda. But you know, it's just a special type of thing, and it warms your heart, and it's why you do it. So we spread out quite a bit. But you know, I still think we're just getting started. We can help do so much more to help in other countries. But it's the people that don't have the resources, and we do. Why wouldn't we share them? So that's what the Eat Foundation is all about. And I'm going to tell you right now where I forgot to do this at the beginning, but like there's the Facebook page, there's our YouTube page, and this is our web page. If you go to our web page and tell us um, how you could, how we could help you, or you could donate. I call it helping us help others. It's a 501c3 charity, and we can definitely use the support to help us help others. And we don't take a dime. None of my board takes a dime. It all goes to the programs. So what's the question today? Because this is the chess files. The answers are out there. So what's the question? Today's question is, how does a chess club become part of a larger community? And I don't know the answer. So I've asked Paul Covington to come on and help me discuss it, see what we can come up with. Paul, thank you for being on the show.
Good morning, Jim.
Good morning. And I wanted to ask you to come in and talk about clubs because my understanding is that you are on the U.S. Chess Clubs Committee.
I
Is that
am.
correct? Yes. So you're one of the people that has thought about this and thought about how chess clubs can become more of an integral part of the communities, the larger communities around them. And I wanted to pick your brain and ask you what you think. So do you have any words of wisdom for us, Paul?
Well, Jim, thanks first of all for inviting me on your program. It's an honor to be able to be part of your foundation through this volunteering to be on your program. Let's start by defining a chess club. A chess club is a group of people. One, it's not a chess club necessarily. Two, makes a chess club. Two people that get together and meet, they can call themselves a chess club. Chess clubs do not have a defined size. For most to work well, you need probably need at least one leader that's really dedicated. And if you have two, it's even better. If you have three, then it really is up and running. there's many ways to grow a chess club as far as different activities to do. But let's talk a little bit about kind of the ground floor of a chess club. You need a place to meet. Meeting in someone's home is doable, and that happens a lot. But if you have a location at a restaurant that will offer you a back room, and in exchange, your members come and they buy a milkshake or some pop or pie and pop, or even buy a meal, then you add value to your being there for the business. And it's not required, but it's kind of implied that if you're at a chess club meeting there and you're not paying rent, that it's very much hoped for and maybe even expected that you're going to be partaking of the food or the beverages in that establishment. That's kind of the trade-off for the free site. If you're paying for a site, then it's optional where you do those things or not. But that's kind of a ground floor. You need a place to meet that's public. There are many other places in the U.S. One of the places that offers us a lot of free space are libraries. We have libraries throughout our country, as many countries do, and libraries are a great place to ask for space to have a chess club. If there is any drawback to a library, then it probably is their hours are pretty fixed. And
yes.
that can be a kind of maybe a problem a little bit. But chess clubs meet just about anywhere you can mention, from in the park, in various hotels, even in places like a bar. I got started in chess in England in 1976. I'd just been stationed in England. I was in the United States Air Force, and we played in the British pubs. And almost every pub has an upstairs, and we could go up there and play. And it was a great thing. We had teams that went out, and that's another way to grow your club or to increase interest, is to form a chess team and play other teams.
Well, Paul, let me stop you there, because my producer is bugging me again. I forgot to ask the first questions I'm supposed to ask everyone right away. Where are you from? Where do you live now? And how did you get started in chess? And you just reminded me how you got started in chess, prompted me. So where are you from, and where do you live now?
I originally was born in Alabama, South Alabama, down on the Gulf Coast, and went to Hope Sound Bible School in my formative years, and joined the Air Force and traveled the world. For the last 28 years, I've lived in Colorado Springs until this year. In March of this year, we actually moved to Oklahoma, one of the central states in the United States, to be closer to my family. So that's kind of a real brief synopsis. I am involved in Oklahoma with the Oklahoma Chess Association. I'm a member at large on their board. When I was in Colorado, I served 3 times as president and several other times at various offices in the state program there. I'm on 2 committees at U.S. chess level, at the national level, the clubs committee that we're talking about. I'm also the co-chair on the senior committee. And we do things for senior chess. You might could tell by the white hair that I am a senior. And but those are all things that happen. But let's talk about a little bit. See, that's some of my history. I did not make national master. I came very close. My highest rating was 2169 back in the early days, when points were very hard to come by.
That's right.
Then I became a military officer, and I started having to concentrate on my military job.
Of
versus
course.
dedicating all my time to chess when I was
That kind of stuff gets in the way of your chess. Yeah, I found that
yeah,
out to be true too.
that work concept is kind of a hard
Yeah.
thing to deal with at times. I do love the game. I appreciate the game because chess is kind of the ultimate teacher. You make a move and you see the consequences of that move, and you know you're responsible for them.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, no one else to blame, just
It,
you.
it, it teaches responsibility very quickly.
Yeah.
It also teaches the cause and effect. This causes this to happen, and
Yeah.
as such, it's a fabulous tool in education to prepare students and adults for being able to deal with life's questions and the hardships in life, because you learn techniques for handling things. One of the biggest things you learn to handle, and especially at the junior, at the scholastic, the junior level, the young players learn to handle disappointment at not winning every game. And learning how to handle disappointment is a fabulous learning tool because it prepares you for what comes after. But all of that fits into the subject of a chess club, though, because most games are at a chess club. Now, look at it this way. Me as an individual, I can work, and I can accomplish some amount. But if I team my efforts with other efforts, like Jim here that does these things, then together we can accomplish so much more because we bring so much more energy and focus to what we're doing. And I think that's the blessing. One of the blessings of chess too is it teaches you how to organize and how to manage things. And you have to manage your game. That directly relates with life. And I've in Colorado. In Colorado, I managed a business for 25 years, and those were times that were precious to me because I still get telephone calls from my former clients who became friends, and every client that I had became friends because we
Yeah.
managed it that way. That's why we wanted it. We wanted them to be friends. I felt like a business was relationships, and service made you have a business. The same is exactly the same for a chess club. You can have all these plans and all these grandiose ideas, but until you have something that serves people, something that helps another individual, then you don't really have a longevity with your chess club. If it's a selfish effort or an effort you're just doing to make money, it will die out. But if it's an organization that is serving people and serving your community, how can a chess club serve the community? That's a fabulous question that we ask ourselves in the clubs committee. Is how do we reach out to the community, and how do we find out, or how do people in the community find out about us? There's some advertising involved. There's free advertising in libraries. You can hang up a flyer or a
Sure.
poster about meeting times or when you're meeting. For us who are qualified as seniors, we can work in or get space in a senior center by teaching
Right.
chess lessons in a senior citizen center. The seniors committee at national level, we have a project this year called The Longest Day, and that's an outreach program that interfaces with the community. So it's not just one thing that you can do, but there's multiple approaches to getting chess involved in the community. The clubs committee and the senior committee do have some cross ideas. I mean, when I say cross ideas, I mean we share some of the same ground in that we both want to promote chess. And while the senior committee focuses primarily on seniors, it is an outreach program to all people and to all groups. Chess is a universal language in a sense. The pieces move the same way in all countries. The playing of chess doesn't require you to know each other's language. It doesn't require you to have fabulous skill levels. it needs to be fun at every level. If it's not fun,
Yes.
then you need to reevaluate what's going on with you, because that's something that's vitally important, is to enjoy yourself and to have a good time while you're doing those things. Those are all things that I see as helping in the community and reaching out to the community. How do you help a chess club to grow and be relevant is another key idea that the clubs committee works on. And we try to do that with some materials that's on the US Chess website, uschess.org, I think the website is.
Yes.
But the website there has a little pamphlet that the clubs committee developed. I wrote a great part of it, but Abel came and helped me. He added some online references and those things.
Shout out to Abel Talamantes. Yes. Good job,
absolutely.
Abel.
And Dr. Judith was instrumental in kind of polishing it. And then we turned it over to the National Committee's executive board, and they approved it. And I understand it's on the website for download. I don't know where on the website yet, because I haven't really had a chance to look it up. But I've been told that it's on the website, and it's a free download that can go through and tell you many, many techniques for improving your chess club and growing your chess club. We've talked a lot about US Chess in this, and the club, the national organization. But to be a chess club, you don't need to be affiliated with a national organization. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Oh, no, it's the truth. So
but literally, people playing in a park, they're a chess club.
Maybe at a coffee shop, I see that all the time. Yeah.
Maybe they don't have a name. Maybe they just are there playing and having fun. But that's the fundamentals of a chess club, is anywhere you can go and gather and play chess. That formulates a chess club according to US, our pamphlet that we wrote is where two or more are gathered together to play chess. It's on, it's game time. And that's kind of fun stuff too, and it's really a good thing.
Paul, I was wondering, because I agree with you 100%. You know, it's all that matters is people playing chess, and but how do you find out about where to go? How do you find out if it's at a coffee shop, which coffee shop, all this kind of stuff? And there's these ideas, like there's a state affiliation that I know of, and there's a national organization that I know of, and do chess clubs want to get associated with those other organizations so they get the word out that they exist? Is that one way to do it? Or like you said, the library, you could put up a poster.
Yeah, you can put up posters in the library. There are, in the US, there are a couple of web pages that you can use to advertise your chess club. It's free. There's one that called chess.com. There's also many others. I think every, if not every state affiliate with US Chess has a website. And on that website, they will list clubs and locations.
Right.
Another way to find a club is type in your city name and then have Google do a search for chess near me. And by doing that,
sounds simple.
It's very straightforward. In 2013, I traveled, my wife and I traveled for 4.5 months playing chess all over the central and eastern United States, about 28 states, something like that. We were in and out of 38 states that summer, 4.5 months on the road. And I found numerous chess clubs and chess meeting places by doing that. There's another internet function called Meet Up, to meet up. And on Meetup, you can advertise your chess club, and people can search for a chess club in your area, and they will come across your Meetup page, and they'll be able to set up a meetup that way. That's another avenue for advertising your chess club. So there's several ideas there. The old-fashioned way was to take out newspaper ads, but that's kind of gone by the wayside with the internet,
Right.
because the
Right.
printed page is kind of is still important, still vital. Most of us like to hold books in our hands. You can see
I agree.
you can see part of my chess library behind me. But
Yeah.
the bottom line is this: whether it's printed page or on the computer screen, it's still a chance to learn chess. And Jim is shamelessly plugging his book. By the way, the first time I
I didn't
saw
see
that
it
book,
behind you.
I thought, Chess for Dummies. In the computer realm, there was a computer book for dummies. And I thought,
Yeah.
this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. How in the world can a Chess for Dummies be a good book? Then I opened it and started reading it. And I thought, wow, this guy's got his act together. He's really writing a good book. So I do recommend
Thank
that
you.
book for people who are starting out. And if you're a new chess club, getting a book like that so that you can go through the process of advancing that way is a good thing. But what happens is this: you start playing with one another, and you're playing with the same 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, whatever the number is, and pretty soon you kind of get kind of tired of that, because you all know each other's moves, you all know how each other thinks, and it kind of gets a little bit stale. And then you start looking around for something a little bit more fresh to you. So you hear about a local chess tournament, and you go to that, and it's almost too much at once, because you go in there and you got a room filled with people that are playing chess, and sometimes it's a bigger club, sometimes it's an actual tournament that's what's called a rated tournament. In order to have a rated tournament, the people putting the tournament on have to be a member of the United States Chess Federation, U.S. Chess,
US
for short, and they have to. Most times they have some kind of an affiliate with that. In the U.S., it costs about $35-40 a year to be an affiliate, and you're authorized then to hold tournaments and do those kind of things. Rated tournaments. When you playing for fun, you don't have a official rating, which is a numerical designator to kind of show your level in chess, whether you're a beginner player, intermediate player, a strong player. All the rating shows is kind of a way to track where you are on that scale. Follow up to that is that you can play and get a rating, and you can go to a United States Chess Championships, which is held once every year, and you can walk in a room and see 500 people playing, and it just blows you away to see that. And
it can be intimidating. Yes,
it can be extremely intimidating. And if you go to one of the scholastic tournaments for school children in Nashville, you can go into one of those where the Grand Ole Opry Center is, and you can see 5,000 little kids running around in circles playing chess. And just unbelievable, the friendships that are developed and the camaraderie that you have with those. But
it's so amazing.
All that starts with a chess club with 2 or 3 people playing. And it started for me with a chess game in my radar navigation shop where I worked in the Air Force. And then it grew from there all the way to playing in a pub. My very first rated game, I actually won, which is a miracle.
All right.
But it led me to formulating Air Force chess teams that played in the England chess leagues, the Barry St. Edmunds chess leagues, and it was an introduction to formal chess. But whether you go that route or you're satisfied just to play chess, it doesn't matter. As long as you're playing chess and having fun, you can be part of and you are part of the chess movement. That's
the chess community.
The chess community, and that's part of it. Now, let's talk about service in the community. If you're offering a chess service, if you're a club and you got people that can understand chess a little bit, have an intermediate or even just just past the beginner stage, you know the moves. You can show those moves to someone else, and then they can show someone else, and that grows the chess community. That's a service to them in formulating and helping their educational process. Chess is a great, great educational tool for children to learn from. Kids who play chess typically have a one grade level higher school results than kids who don't. Just the way it works. It's one of the great secrets that we don't propagate enough, or we don't talk about enough. It really helps kids in their thinking process, in their reasoning, and in their troubleshooting, and just making decisions. It's so much
Yes.
easier when you have a framework for making decisions based on results. And the results are measurable because you put a piece out there and it's under attack, and the guy can take it, and he takes it. You really get some results and some feedback right away that wasn't too good of a move. So
Well, some of these skills that you're talking about are directly transferable into the classroom, and we see the results of that.
yeah, we
And
do.
also, how else does a child learn to to deal with disappointment, to cope with disappointment?
Yep.
And because you cannot win all the games that you play, you're going to deal with disappointment in a game setting. So there's nothing really too terrible at stake, but your ego takes a hit, and that you'd find out that everybody takes a hit. You're not alone. Everybody loses at some point, and so you just end up going, okay, well, set up the pieces again. I can play again. And these kids are learning these lessons. They think they're on recess. They're playing, but these are lessons that are transferable back into the classroom and actually into life. They're life lessons as well.
I want to
So
share
this is
something
some
really
of the
quick with you, Jim. In championship setting, one of my students was just lost a game miserably to a much lower rated player, and the player was crying, and the parents were really concerned because it was looking embarrassing kind of thing. And I went to the parents and told them, I said, hey, let me handle this. I'm the coach. And they agreed and backed off, and I went and talked to him. And I told him, it's okay to cry because that's helping you to cope with the disappointment. And if you learn to cope with disappointment now, then it gets easier as you go forward. A famous chess player once said that you've got to lose 1,000 games of chess before you start to really understand the game. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I think
yeah,
I'm getting,
but it's
I,
the
I think
point is
I think I'm getting pretty close to understanding the game.
you just have to play a lot.
That's exactly the point. Is the more you play, the more you actually gain in skill, but more so than anything else. You can play and you can have a knockdown, drag out game. You do everything you can to beat that guy across the table from you or that gal, and
Right.
you do everything you can to win that game. And when it's over, the beauty of chess is you shake hands and thank each other for a good game. And you over that game, you gain respect for each other and you become friends. And you
Yeah,
fight like crazy to win, but at the end,
exactly.
you become friends and you establish a friendship that can go on for a lifetime. And that's
It's so
really a
true, Paul.
blessing about chess.
You know, you and I got started in the 70s, roughly around the same time. And I can remember going to every tournament, making a new friend. And it was one of those things. After your game, you'd go out to lunch because you had to wait, kill some time before the next game started. So, eventually you ended up seeing that guy at the next tournament and doing the same thing. And it was just a way to make friendships. And I wanted to talk a little bit about communities, how you can get involved in your community if you're a chess player. Now, you talked a little bit about a senior center. So if you're a chess club, have somebody who can teach at a senior center. I've done it. It's a wonderful, such a good feeling to go because they want to keep their minds active. And that chess makes them think that they're keeping their minds active. And it's really a blessing to be able to experience that, to share in their happiness because they think that if they can play chess, they still have their marbles. And so then that's a great thing. And and you could do, I've done this. You go into the boys and girls clubs and go teach chess there. And that's another way. You go into the schools, which is mostly our focus, but boys and girls clubs, they're not necessarily the most well-off people, but they are people who want to use their minds and learn all these lessons that chess teaches. So this is another good thing. And also, if you have VA hospitals in your area, my experience was that if there was a VA hospital that for physically wounded veterans, they may or may not be that interested in chess. But if you go into ones with a mental health hospital focus, oh man, my classrooms were full. They really, because they still wanted, does my mind work? Well, chess teaches you your mind still works. And that was a great success. But all of those places that I'm talking about, they need somebody who's on the inside, who's an internal champion that you have to connect with. But you'll never find them unless you go out looking for them. And once you find them, then you establish that relationship, and then you can be part of the community at a much deeper level than just playing chess among yourselves.
Yeah. And that part of the community is really a real, and anytime you're helping someone else, you think, I'm giving all this to these people, but you're gaining so much more because you're so satisfied with what you're doing, and you enjoy it so much. And it brings a level of, whether it's pleasure or not, I don't know, because pleasure and satisfaction is kind of two different, kind of along the same lines, but two different things really. But
I agree.
It brings satisfaction to you at a very, very high level of knowing that you've helped someone else along their path to being the person they want to be, or the individual they would like to be. And that's all good things. We talked about different places that you might find. One thing I left out is there are a lot of churches that have services on the weekends or on the Sundays or the Saturdays, whichever they do. But during the week, they have a lot of space there. And many churches allow chess clubs. Here in the Tulsa area, there's a church in particular that's allowing the players to come in and play chess on a Sunday afternoon into the evening. And it's really been a very nice thing for the new club, a startup club, to kind of get on their feet, because the church offers it as a free site. We do have a member of the church that sponsors it.
Yes.
Basically is he's there with the key every time to open it up and do those
the inside champion, right?
The inside champion. But even if you don't have an inside champion, I think there's ways that you can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
And holding tournaments, you need a little bit bigger space. You need a little bit more time.
They usually have it.
Say a tournament just on a Saturday only, a one-day tournament, is a good thing to do. There's different kind of tournaments. You can play tournaments where everybody plays everyone else in a small setting. That's one of the ways it happens. Another way is in the clubs, to create club interest within your own club. You can have what's called a club ladder. And a club ladder lists your strongest to your weakest players. And a weaker player can challenge up to a stronger player. And if you win that game, you move up above that player. And it's a back and forth thing all the time. And it's really fun because it creates that combat feeling, but it also creates that concern, that feeling of achievement on each individual's part as they move up the ladder, or as they struggle, they start moving down the ladder. They decide they better study some more or read Jim's book again.
Good motivation, right?
But
but the ladders are excellent because that's part of building the community. You can see your name up on the ladder with the rest of them, and you belong. So it's a gift. We when I grew up started playing chess. Churches and YMCA's were the two most common places because they were free space.
Yeah. Let's talk about community as a bigger thing.
Okay.
Chess clubs have the esteem in a community as just the nature of being a chess club. When people think of individuals who play chess, they think they're smart. So you do have a platform to speak from when you're a chess player, especially if you can achieve some level of strength in the chess community, or you win a club championship or a city championship or a state championship. You have a platform to speak to communities, and people will listen. Radio stations will come out and interview you and do things like that. I've had some of those things happen. We had a TV station come and do a 30-minute segment on my wife and I when we were doing this traveling around the country. And it gives you a platform to speak from and to encourage the community to become involved in chess. But what you're really trying to do is you're trying to build a community that can help other people. And you need any church that doesn't have an outreach program eventually will die, because it'll end up just kind of over time reducing itself internally. And as people go to other activities or things, and they lose members and they just diminish. A chess club is kind of like that. You need some kind of an outside outlet that you're helping and working with. It gives a goal for the club to work toward, and it focuses on that somewhat. And that's kind of what your foundation does with trying to support chess around the world. And I think that's a great thing. Locally, how can you do that? Volunteer to go teach in a high school, to teach chess in a high school. Volunteer to go into an elementary school and teach chess. In the States, you have a background check you have to do, and that's all well and good. Most chess players are people who stay out of trouble anyway. But literally, it's another benefit of being a chess player, is giving you an avenue to speak. And to those youngsters that you're talking to, you are the champion. And that's a great feeling to know that in somebody's eyes, you have relevance, and you're a real person that's helping them. Excuse me. And it's just a way of doing things that really is a nice feeling internally for us. And I know everybody don't have the time to do that, or they have jobs to do.
Sure.
But
sure.
Fit things around your jobs, and take time. If you're a parent, teach chess to your children. It's the greatest gift you can give them, as far as helping them with their education and those things. But more than anything else, it teaches them there's a bigger community out there in which they are a part, and they're an individual. They're not just one person that's the greatest thing that ever happened. They're basically fit into a bigger community, and they quickly figure out that they're not the only one that knows how to play chess, and they may not be the best player on the block, but they can be a strong player and they really enjoy the game. The last point I'd like to make on that is really important. Chess is a lifetime sport. I started when I was young. Now I'm older. I'm still involved. I still love the game, and it's still a great experience for me. I'm lucky in that I have a larger role now in my later years. Now that I'm retired, I have a bigger role that I can serve other people in and help other people meet their goals by giving freely of what I've learned. And those things are precious. So, Jim, thank you so much for having me on your show and doing those things. I don't know what time we're supposed to cut off or do that, but
well, my producer's usually in my ear, but he was, I think, listening to what you were saying. But I think that's a good wrap up, Paul. Because you're one part of the people giving back, and it's one of the reasons I met you, and I listened to what you had to say, and I wanted to have other people have the opportunity to listen to you as well, because you are in a position to give back. Not everybody is. Some people, like you say, they're sweating rent. They got to keep their noses to the grindstone. But if you have some leisure time, don't think that you can't be of use. You can be. If you know how to play chess, you can teach someone else how to play chess. Yep. You can do it in a school. You can do it in any kind of setting where it's available. Senior centers, VA hospitals. You're only limited by your imagination. And the more you spread the word about how good chess is for kids, the better off it will be. One of the things I want to close on, Paul, see how you feel about this, is when I got started, everybody looked like me. We were white and we were male. And now when I go to, we were going to these, I see all these kids from all different backgrounds, and all the, boys and girls, and I think if our chess clubs are men and women, they'll be more attractive for people to come in. And then younger kids can go there because they won't feel like they're being abandoned by their parents if they drop them off at the chess club. And if we make it a more welcoming, make it look more like the United States looks, we will get more people willing to let their kids come to the club and be around. It's an intergenerational thing. One of the gifts that I got was I got to be around people my grandparents' age when I was a teenager. And, I never knew my grandfathers, but through them, I had that experience. So we don't want to deny kids that experience as well. Be around people of different age groups. And it's a good life lesson to know how they think and how they feel and what they value.
One of the things that we talked about in our Guide to a Successful Chess Club, the little pamphlet that's on the US Chess website, is the absolute responsibility that the leader has in a chess club to make everyone welcome. It doesn't matter what their race, their nationality, their language, male or female, or anything in between. It doesn't matter what their belief system is. They're there to play chess, and it transcends everything else. And
exactly.
it really is that one thing that can just transcend. And chess is indeed, I mean, every kind of person you can think of that plays chess is welcome in a chess club. And it's the responsibility of the leadership to ensure that the environment is safe, that people there are not going to harass anybody, or they're not going to stand up and rant and rave about something. It's a safe place to come.
Safe place, welcoming place.
It has to be a safe place, and it has to be a welcoming place, or it will not work. And it's just that's a real important point. You cannot harass people in a chess club. Just doesn't work. Just flat out, it's wrong, and it's not acceptable. And by the same token, being a poor sport is not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
You need to have good sportsmanship. You need to shake hands with a person starting and stopping,
win or lose.
And in our present status, I guess, with this pandemic going on, we may not shake hands, but we can fist bump.
Fist bump.
Let me get my camera. Okay, give me a fist bump. And we can fist bump, or we can put gloves on and shake hands, or whatever we do, or do the elbow bump. There's some people do the elbow bump. And
I do the namaste.
Things that do that. But the bottom line is this: is you're establishing that I am a friendly person who loves chess and wants to compete and play, and I assume that you're the same, and you're showing that by your camaraderie, and you're continuing to go forward with the game and to have fun with it. I understand disappointment.
Yes,
I've shared at least.
We all do.
Yeah, I've shared at least one disappointment in my life.
Yeah, well, we all have felt it, and
I've lost a lot of games. I've won a lot of games, but I've never really. And I teach my students that if you learn something from a game, even a loss is a win, because you've learned something, and it's something that you can really enjoy and carry forward. So if you're learning from the game, as long as you're learning, things are well and going forward. When you stop learning, when you start getting irritated and aggravated, you need to back away and rethink. Why am I here? Because it's got to be fun for you, and it needs to come. It needs to come, as you say, from within you to be part of the game. You can't be pushed into it or driven into it and it be fun. It becomes more of a thing then of I'm being forced to do this. And
Yeah.
some players get in that position. And I try to teach parents too that you can't push your kid
Oh,
into being a chess
keep
player.
it fun.
It needs to
It
come
can
from
be
within.
serious, but it has to be fun.
If you make it fun, no matter how serious it is, it's still educational and it's still a benefit to the person. So good stuff. Anyway, I
Thank
better
you. Well,
slow down.
I really do appreciate you coming on, and I just, my heart goes out to the things that you say. I am a firm believer of all of the messages that you're giving, and I hope the viewers appreciate you as much as I do. And my viewers, I have to say hi, Mom. So thanks again. I'm going to take you backstage and say goodbye to the rest of them.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you so very much.
Well done. All right. I'm going to change my background if I can. Last time I wasn't able to, but because I want to, there we go. I think I did it. All right. Because the Foundation is about building communities through chess. And if you're part of a community, you're never alone. That's the message that we at the Foundation want to communicate. And we also say that chess is a great way to do it. And it does teach kids. It's a gift. You give the gift of chess to a child. You give a gift that lasts a lifetime. So the E Foundation is a 501c3 charity. That means a charitable organization. That means that when you donate your dollars to the E Foundation, you can deduct them from your taxes. That's not the reason that I want you to do it, though. But it is part of the thing that what we're doing is taking the donations and giving it to kids like you see here. And that we don't take a dime of it. So this, I absorb all of the administrative costs, and that's why I want you to encourage you to help me help them. And the chess files, the answers are out there. It's on every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern, and I hope you see me then. Until next time.